everyone. So I'm a little late on my Untethered Friday. Sorry about that. I had an executive meeting that I had to attend because I'm the boss, which is weird. But you know, it's cool. Anyway. So I was thinking we could talk a little bit about hearts. I've mentioned a couple of times on this that I'm doing a chakra class, and we just finished up the heart chakra last night, and it's pretty intense. Like these chakra classes are great. They're moving me forward, and I'm really happy about them. One of the things that I'm realizing is that realizations and progress, they get deeper, right? So like you can have a realization about one thing. I kind of knew this already, but like you go back to the exact same thing and you get a deeper realization. You get a deeper understanding of things. And the work gets deeper. So you will be working on the same things. You know, you're not done with them. Is there something I can put here that will make it less pointy uppy? Because who wants something that's pointing up at them like that? Let's see. Will this work? Okay, that's a little better. So one of the things, especially since I'm doing hot chakra right now, one of the things that I'm kind of getting deeper realizations about is, you know, I've talked about this a lot, not as much recently, but the breakup that I went through last week. Oh, thanks, Gerard. Not last week, the last year, and you know, with this man who was just wonderful and who we loved each other very much, and the relationship was fantastic. He was my best friend. You know, I mean, like, it was a fantastic relationship, and the reason it had to end was because he is from Egypt, and his mother is not. Her love is conditional, and in order to not basically get disowned or kill his mother, it would have been a mess. That if we'd stayed together and he told her about us, none of the fallout would be good. And it's not just that it wouldn't be good, it's that, like, it would be a lifetime thing of pain, and, you know, like a thing that he would always feel bad about. And I just felt like there would be resentment on his part, and I would feel bad about it for the rest of our lives. You know, it would affect the relationship. So we chose that the best idea is to keep the relationship as beautiful as it is, to take what we've learned from each other, to be grateful for what we had, etc., and move on. And he is engaged now, not because that's something he wanted, but because his mother has been bothering him. You know, we were together for 4 years, and every day she was bothering him to get married, sometimes twice a day, and she's not well, and it's her kind of, you got to get married before I die, so he was under a lot of pressure and basically had to get engaged. So that's what that situation was for anybody who has not heard it. And it's, you know, it was a beautiful, beautiful relationship. It taught me so much, and I'm so grateful for it. Every part of it, because even in the ending, it's teaching me to deal with my heart, to learn how to move on, to deal with these emotions that before, when I was in a much worse place, I wouldn't have been able to deal with. I would have spiraled out. I wouldn't have gotten out of bed for months. I would be completely obsessed. I would be trying to change things. I'd be making a fool of myself. It was terrible. But this relationship has taught me not to do that, you know? And it's difficult because it's still here in my heart. You know what I mean? It's still something that I think about a lot. I still miss him terribly. And I can feel, I mean, you can feel it. I'm more aware of what's going on in my energetic plane, you know, and I'm learning to open my heart space more so that these things, like, relax my body so I can let go of these things, right? That's what letting go is. And I thank God that's another thing I learned through this relationship. Well, through listening to Michael Singer's works, as well as applying them to the end of this relationship. You know, like, letting go is about allowing yourself to sit in the emotion and feel it and just be with it, notice it, observe it, and relax your entire body and just continue to feel it until it goes away. And it's not going to go away immediately, but it gets rid of the panic that's associated with these things, or that I associated with these emotions, where it's like, I have to do something to fix this, I have to do something. That panic makes it so much worse, you know. And right now it's at a deeper level, you know what I mean? Like, I've been dealing with the breakup, with the grief. It's not even just, it's the grief and the loss and mourning of this relationship that was so special and meant so much. I learned so much from it, and I got so much out of it, and it healed me, and I miss it. I really, really miss it, and I miss him. And it's a deep, deep grief that is taking a while for me to process and let pass through me. Like, I can feel it all over, like, deep in my stomach, deep in, like, just everywhere, all this energeticness right here. Everything is just, there's this gaping like, painful hole, and it's something, you know, like, people keep saying, oh, you gotta get over it, like, yeah, okay, obviously, right? But I'm gonna process it the way that I need to process it, and I hope that my processing it in front of others helps them get through their grief or their mourning, or where they are, whatever it is they're dealing with in their life, or your life is actually really what I'm talking about. I'm hoping that my doing this in front of you helps you to break your stuff down and to process it, and to realize that you can think and act and emote differently than you have in the past. You can change these things so that you have a better life, and you can move on and just have a better life. Be more open spiritually, be more open to people, to things, and just enjoy life, the time that we have between our birth and our death, right? What's the point of freaking out and not enjoying that? And you're going to have I mean, it's not like you're going to be super happy all the time. You're going to have the emotions, but the point is to learn to enjoy the experience of being human on this plane, having a heart, having a mind, just paying attention and being like, wow, look at all the stuff that's going on. So as that continues, I also want to tell people, like, I think a lot of times if you go through a breakup or you go through a mourning phase or whatever, people will tell you when they think you should be done that you should get over it and you just need to move on. And it's like all this stuff, and it's like, don't put your shit on me. And you have permission to say that. You have permission to think that. Like, I don't care what you think I should be feeling right now. I'm gonna feel what I'm feeling. And you should mind your own business. You know what I mean? Like, your shit doesn't need to go on me. So, back off is basically what I want to say to anybody who tells me that. But again, like, that's like, okay, there's some frustration and anger, and that's coming from my stuff, and what the ideal is that one realizes that anything that's being triggered in yourself is actually coming from yourself, and the stuff that you've stored, and that anything that someone else has been triggered by is coming from them, and it's not personal, right? It's unfortunate that people feel like they need to put pressure on other people to feel the way that they want them to feel. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm here to tell you that however you feel is valid, and that if you're still mourning a relationship, grieving over something that you've lost, it's okay. You can continue to grieve, and the best thing to do is to allow yourself to feel that feeling and relax and release all the tension in your body as you do. And it's going deeper for me. That's what's happening, is like, yes, I've been relaxing and releasing. I've been processing my grief, my feelings about this, the anger that I have. I don't have a ton of, I mean, like, what people are more angry on my behalf than I am angry, but, you know, there's anger attached to it. Like, there's a lot of selfish feelings that are attached to it, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to judge myself for that. That's kind of natural, but it's also important to realize that they are selfish feelings. Because I miss the love. I want that love. I want him. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, so what? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, that's the ideal you get to, is, so what if that's what I want? It's the only reason it's bad. I'm feeling bad about it is because I want it or I don't want it. That's the only reason I'm feeling bad. So what if I just say, I'm glad it's this way. I'm grateful for it to be this way. And I am. I'm very grateful for it to be the way it is, because even if his mother were a different person, he wouldn't be the person that he is. So I have to be grateful for her to being the way she is, because I can't be upset about anything about the way he is, because he's amazing. So everything happens for a reason. Everything, you know what? Everything that happens is something you can learn from. It's something you can use for your own emotional growth, your spiritual growth. And don't judge yourself for feeling what you feel. Allow yourself to think I have thoughts that I do not like a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, that was a terrible thought. I don't like that thought. You know what I mean? And it's because all of it is because, honestly, the good thoughts and the bad thoughts are there because, are there because of things that have happened in our life previously, and the way our mind works and stuff like that. You know, we are not our mind, we are not our heart. What is on my hand? We are the consciousness that is aware of those things. So if you can just sit in them and allow them to be what they are, and not judge yourself, but allow them to pass through you and not act out of them, that's the best, right? So if I were to act out of this, I'd be calling and texting as though it would help, and it would just make things worse. It never helps. It never does. So, because who wants that? I don't want it to be in my life and have him be someone else's, you know? It does suck though. I mean, I trained him up good. He's going to be a really good husband. He's going to be a really good husband and father. And that's, you know, obviously very much due to him, but I did introduce some certain elements that he definitely took on that are going to, anyway, I just want him to be happy. And that's the thing, is we can use all of this for our emotional and spiritual growth. So don't judge yourself. And it's the deeper level that I'm coming to is like, there's such an ache. It's such a heartbreak. It's so deep within me that the reason that it's still here is because I've only been able to let certain levels of it go, right? There's only certain levels that I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? Like, you can only relax as much as, you know, like the top part, and then once that is relaxed, then, you know, you get down to the deeper part, and you keep going until, like, it's all gone, and I can feel it getting closer and closer to being like just to letting it go. I can feel that getting closer, but the thing is, the closer it gets, the more it hurts, the more, like, the pain just sears me inside. Like, I can feel this heat. But you know what, like, one of the things that Michael Singer talks about, so it's a good thing, one of the things that Michael Singer talks about, I can't remember in what talk, but he talks about that searing heat, that white hot heat that you feel when you're allowing yourself to feel the emotion, and when you're relaxing and releasing, and that is that energy being burned off, that samskara, that scar inside of you that it's hit. It's burning off, and it's a good thing, and it's beautiful. It just hurts. It hurts a lot. Like it's just an ache inside. But it's also allowing me, it's giving me a depth of experience. It's giving me a depth of experience in this human life, right? And it's allowing my heart to open more, so that more joy and more love and more peace can be put there, can have a home there. But boy, does it fucking suck in some ways. It really does. Like, it really fucking sucks in a lot of ways. It just hurts. It hurts. I just miss him a lot. And that space, that energy that was a part of me, you know, it's a shift. It's a shift when you lose something like that. It's an energetic shift, and it's beautiful and necessary for these feelings to happen. And it's healing me more. I mean, that's the thing about this relationship. Every single thing about it heals me and makes me a better person. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. I want you to see that you can go from being depressed and anxious. Like, just, my life was so bleak. I didn't have hope. I couldn't deal with anything. And I was constantly, I mean, and I'm not saying it's perfect now. I'm not saying it's developing, right? But it's better. And I can appreciate it, as opposed to just being so scared and running away and wanting to change it and making it worse. You can change that behavior. You can change that way of thinking. You can change your reactions, and that will change your life. So I want to encourage you all to change the way you think about things. And it's not easy, and it takes time, and it takes effort, and it's hard. It's hard. It doesn't happen all at once. I thought it would. I had my idea in my head, and I don't know, forever, was that you come out of a depression and you're out and you're fine. Like when you get sick, right? You have a stomach bug, or you get food poisoning, and you get it out of your system, and it's over. Your body recalibrates. I gotta get some tissues, or you're gonna see a snotty nose. Right? Oh man, I need more tissues. I go through these a lot. So you have to be ready for a journey, and you have to be willing to feel the feelings. You have to be willing to go through it. You have to be, but it's so worth it. Life is so much better. Oh my God, it's so much better if you can learn to do these things. Think about these things. Incorporate them. Let them become part of your being, and the way that you move in the world, the way you exist in the world, the way you react and behave, and what's the word that I'm looking for? Show up, the way you affect others. These are the ways that you're gonna save the world. You know what I mean? These are the ways you lift your vibrations. These are the ways that you become happier and more grounded and more balanced. And It's your duty to do that in the world, especially with how freaking crazy it is right now. The only thing we can do to make the world a better place in some cases, then you got to start at least by being a better self. And as you do that, you are creating, rather than adding more anxiety and fear and depression and anger and bitterness and disappointment and regret and guilt, rather than adding all of that, adding more of that into the world, you can add peace and joy and forgiveness and tolerance and openness and just peace, right? And when you go through life like that, you give other people permission to do that. You give other people permission because they see that it's possible. They see it in you. And even if that doesn't, that's not how they process it. That's not how they're conscious of it. A smile, that didn't go into the tissue, into the thing. A smile can brighten someone's day. And that's raising vibrations around you. That's you putting more peace and joy into the world. That's you putting more friendliness into the world and kindness. That's you softening someone's heart. That's how the world gets better, and that's how it's going to get better. By you changing the way you show up, how you exist on this plane. That's my 2 cents for the day, guys. That's my Untethered Friday spiel. I'm gonna blow my nose again. So that's what I want to say. Allow yourself to feel it. It's your duty to improve yourself. And I hope that I can help you in any way that I can. I hope this is helping you. I hope me putting everything out there is helping someone else go through what they need to go through to have a better life and to see that it's possible. And I encourage you guys to do as much of that for others that you can, as you can. I encourage you to be kind to one another. This is hard. This is a hard time for everybody. Everybody is having a hard time right now in some way or another. I mean, and that's true throughout the history of humankind, but like right now. Right now is the time to come together in the face of so many things that we have in common that are bothering us, that are causing strife and frustration and fear and anxiety and hatred and all these things. These are the times to come together. These are the times that we have to do this, right? This is our duty. So I encourage you all to remember that you can always choose to have a grateful day.